I met Leonia through a mutual friend. I remember walking in and just being captivated by Leonia straight away, just her essence, her beauty, her energy. And the first painting I looked at, I fell in love with.
I was really interested in, seeing someone of my culture be successful in the arts world, and just was really interested in seeing her pieces. And the exhibition just blew me away. It was, it just really drew me in. Every piece was just magnificent. It just showed so much colour and culture from each different part of the world, including Indigenous Australia. And the portraits themselves, they just draw you in with the eyes and the expressions. There's just so much humanity and compassion.
It's very inspiring having her as having an artist as a mother. It's quite different to all of my friends growing up, and I get my inspiration mainly from my mother.
As a kid, if I couldn't fall asleep, I would just wander downstairs to Mum's art studio and we'd play music. I remember I was super into glitter, so I made this artwork with a big giant love heart and just put all these different coloured glitter on it, and that is hung up in my mum's art room. So it's nice to see that even though she inspires me so much, she really encourages me to be creative as well, and it encourages me to be more creative with everything I do.
Hi, my name's Leonia and I'm a Melbourne artist. I was born in Portugal in a small town called Salvaterra. My parents decided to immigrate to Australia when I was 7 with the 3 kids. So as a child, like before Australia, I remember just having a really, really free childhood. It was just, people say raised by a village. It was pretty much like that. My dad, he wasn't the overly affectionate kind of father, and neither is my mum really, but it's not like they ever really said, oh, you're really good at that, keep doing more of that. But my dad, when people would come over, he would say to me, Leonie, go and get that art thing you did the other day, go and show these people. And he'd be so proud to show my work that I'd done. And that's kind of like really validating, because I never really had someone say that to me, like, oh, you're really good at that, you should stick with that, or that looks really good. It's just not something that my parents did. They showed their love in other ways, I guess. But that kind of really solidified the fact that, it must be good, it must be okay. And so he seemed quite proud, and I sincerely saw that in his eyes and my mum's eyes, I guess. I guess that took me from just doing it because I loved it to actually going, okay, I might be okay at this. I'm really gonna, do more of it. Yeah.
So when I met Leonia, she had a fashion business. And I guess the art journey started in that she started painting a mural on the nursery wall, cherry blossoms, in readiness for a new family. And I think one of the things I've learned about Leonia is that a lot of the creative juices, the flow happens at very inconsistent hours. It might be the middle of the night, so that's not so good if you're working in somebody else's house. And then she also wanted to give something back, so we got World Vision involved, and World Vision, she contacted them and said, I'd like to donate part of what I do to the charity, given it was Faces the World and different cultures. And World Vision were enthusiastic supporters of that. Obviously they were happy to take donations and support. So that was the first big event. My job, as I say there, was really just support, helping with some of the little organisational stuff, helping carry the artworks, the big canvases, so my job is also physical.
Inspiration for me comes from all sorts of avenues, whether it's music, travelling, a mood, a feeling, nature, or all of them combined together. I have a feeling in mind or mood, and then I'll start something, and then it can become something completely different. And I try not to get in my own way by, getting upset with something happening along the way that I didn't intend. I'll just be like, okay, well, it wants to go in that direction. I don't know what to do with it. I might just leave and leave it there for a bit, and I'll come to it later. And when I revisit the piece, then usually something comes, something just comes, and I'll just play around.
We met Leonia through my husband being unwell in a hospital, and I saw a piece of her art on the wall, so we tracked her down.
And yeah, when Jill says I was unwell, I nearly died, so there's a bit of a backstory attached to it, so there's an emotional attraction to Leonia's art.
So he was in hospital for a week and in ICU. He nearly died a few times. Anyway, so when I was going into the hospital to visit him, I saw Leonia's art on the wall, and it was the Make-A-Wish piece with this beautiful girl's face, and I just saw it and I was just mesmerised. I used to look at it every day when I was going to visit him. And then it was actually supposed to be in the children's section of the hospital, but that was getting renovated, so they placed it in the main foyer area. When I was getting better and he was about to leave hospital, I was like, I need to try and find out who did this painting. So I saw her name on the her signature on the artwork, and then I just tracked her down, and we ended up contacting her, and we went to her gallery it was actually at her home, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, went to her home.
Went to her house and ended up purchasing it.
But that was the first of two pieces.
Yeah, and then we ended up buying another piece for our daughter's bedroom.
Yeah.
I forget what that one's called, but we just love her art.
Yeah, the eyes. I love the eyes. She nails the eyes. So that's what I really like.
Usually when I start a new piece, I start by going for a walk. I clear my space in the studio, and I go for a walk. I try to connect to nature. I listen to music or a podcast, and I think about those things, and something tends to come out. And usually with music, I start to see visions of what wants to come through. I'm not really it doesn't have to be perfect. Nothing in life is really perfect, and I certainly am not the perfect person or artist, and nobody is. So yeah, they're just expressions.